I'm Melinda Ann Farrell. I'm the Executive Director of Center for the Arts Eagle Rock. Our job here is to promote the arts for our community and make sure that we provide access to wonderful, innovative programming for everybody who lives in this neighborhood and beyond. I became the director of Center for the Arts Eagle Rock when I was on the board of directors. I was on the board for 2 years, and then at the end of those 2 years, the board members thought that I would be a really good choice to lead the organization. I have a creative background. I'm a documentary film director, so they felt that somebody who had a good creative relationship with other artists, that understood the creative process, that was used to working with people collaboratively might be a good choice to run the organization. So they asked me if I would do it, and I was very honored that I was asked, and so I did. I would say having a good creative education is what's needed for my position. I've made lots of films. I have a background in painting. I am a writer. I think that the more creative projects that you do, and the more I've owned my own production company. I think if you have a good head on your shoulders and that you have a lot of practical experience, I think that that's really helpful. I studied filmmaking in college, and so I think that helps. I'm the daughter of a painter, so I understand being around artists because I grew up in a home with an artist. So I think all of those things, my college education plus my practical experience, kind of fused together, and perhaps that's why they thought I would be a good choice.
What was a typical day here for you like?
Typical day? That's a good question. So the center is a multifaceted space. So every day is a different day. One day we'll be building these guitars, having all this ready for exhibition. Next day would be planning for a music event. A lot of emails corresponding with artists to produce these events that are happening in the future. A lot of community networking, talking to local folks. Every day is never the same. It's always different, like filming today. So it's something different every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, there are difficulties and challenges. I would say, as a not-for-profit arts organization, we do a lot of programs, and so we're constantly having to raise money to support our education programs and our creative programs. And so how do you find the right funder to support your work? How do you find the right curator to come and bring in an art exhibit? How do you find the right musicians to play at the Eagle Rock Music Festival? How do you expand the staff? How do you deal with community events? There's just there's a lot of different things that go on. So the challenges are, you want to give everybody 1,000% of your time and do things well, and so you just it's very brain forward, I would say. There's a lot that everybody does here, and it's a very talented staff.
Things that I'd like to see change. I would say expanding the staff. I'd love to see something like that happening, and having more staff is always good, and more help is always good.
I think what I would like to see is I would like to have a better sound system here. I think it would be great if we could expand our technological infrastructure. We want to bring in film and video production. So I would like to see a dedicated space for that. So if there's one thing that I could change in the building, I'd love to have a dedicated little sound stage in a dark room would be fantastic. That would be that's my dream, to have that.
The most rewarding thing about my job, there's a couple of things. We have an education component that we have here. We have a director of education we work with, and seeing all the children come in and working on all of these projects. A lot of our classes are free, or they're low cost. So to see younger kids have access to computers, laptops, iPads, the technology that I feel they should have at a young age. So I love the educational components of what education brings here, but I also love how art and music, culture, and people come together within a community. And then you really start to understand and feel a sense of community, especially in Eagle Rock. Eagle Rock's a small town kind of feel. And you really feel that essence of it during those types of programming. So.
What do you find most rewarding about your job?
Seeing a child who has never had art in their life learn that they are an artist.